Alrighty. This your boy DJ74 Live coming at you early this morning with an early video. Gonna make a discussion. I just want to talk about on my predictions against Terrence Bud Crawford versus Shawn Porter. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was going to put my money on Shawn Porter because I haven't seen Bud Crawford really, really fight any stiff competition over his reign as champion at the weight that he is right now. And I think that Shawn Porter is that competition that he needs. And I think if Crawford can beat Porter, then I think that I will look at Terrence Crawford a lot different. I would have to say that, pound for pound, he is definitely would be one of the best because, to me, Shawn Porter he's just like a dog. He will scrap, he will fight, he will do what it takes. I know he came up short against Errol Spence, but again, I'm just looking for Crawford to prove himself to me, and I think he needs to prove himself to a lot of people. Now, as far as what it was, then after Porter had came out and said the dumbest things about Deontay Wilder, well, that kind of changed my opinion. Then I was just begging for Bud Crawford to beat this guy and take Porter out because of the ignorance, the things that so ignorant to come out of the mouth of Shawn Porter really caused me a lot of disrespect. Because why would you go against a guy that you say is your friend or your brother? Why would you turn against somebody and then say, that we need to quit putting our hope in him and to be the big thing? And he is the big thing. He is what has carried boxing, especially in the heavyweight division, over the last few years. But with that all aside, I think Shawn Porter can give Bud Crawford a lot more good of a fight than what people take it for. A lot of people are saying Crawford's going to knock him out. Some say the same thing about Porter. Now, I don't know if Porter can knock him out, but I think for Porter to beat Crawford, he may have to knock him out. Because I just don't see him winning on the scorecards. And then again, I could be wrong, but I do know that the chin of Crawford, it really needs to be tested more. And Crawford and Porter, we know he has been down before as well. But, all in all, one thing that has worried me is so much these guys talked about how they was good friends and everything like that, and how Crawford is so confident that he's going to knock out Porter. Thoughts have occurred that maybe, and I hope it's not true, that Porter would throw the fight because they're friends and help Crawford to win, which would be definitely unprofessional. And, this is what boxing has come to. I don't believe anymore a fighter is going to fight another fighter until I see him in the ring and they're duking it out, because anymore there's so many excuses, so many things happening, and there's just so many things that has went on with boxing that has really hurt boxing when it comes to people like Oscar De La Hoya. You know, uh, call him a golden boy. He's more like a golden girl going around and wearing dresses and all this junk and being like transgender or whatever you want to call it. You know, I lost my respect for him a long time ago. And guys like Bob Airman, all these people, you know, I just want to see the best fight the best. That's it. I'm tired of everybody dodging everybody. And then when a good fight seems like it's about to happen, then somebody gets injured or gets hurt. Um, but, you know, that is part of boxing. You know, these things happen. But it's just excuses as that the fighters make. You know, just like the Canelo Caleb fight. I thought Caleb Plant was winning the fight. I think that he was doing a good job, but he made that mistake in that 11th round when he put his head down too much, and Canelo hit him with a good shot and, you know, won the fight. And it surely didn't take long for the ref to wave that fight off really quick. So, again, this is what boxing has come to. You know, you look at a guy like Fury who laid out, looked like he was out. You know, he was hard to tell what he was dreaming about when he got knocked down by Wilder in the first fight. And the ref just took forever, you know, giving him all the time in the world to get back up when he should have been counted out. And then you come to a fight like Plant and in his fight, and you know he gets knocked down, and pretty much it's called off that quick. So Canelo, you know, was able to win the fight. And, you know, these things is what is destroying boxing. You know, it seems like that every division has their favorite or their color or the race. You know, boxing has become racist just as much as out on the streets. You know, how the police, the way that they are, and, you know, these things are taking hold in the boxing as well. But with everything going on, I want, in a way, like I said, I was going to be rooting for Porter, but the thing was what he said about Wilder. But I've got to just, you know, put that behind me, you know, and, you know, and I've just, like I said, this is a fight that I've got to see Crawford prove himself. And in my opinion, there's just so much intangibles that can happen that can change this fight. And again, we're so close to the fight now. So I just can't wait till we get to the fight, and I hope everything goes good, and I hope it's a great fight. We need it to be a great fight. I know that. I have been let down, you know, when it comes to Wilder, and I was let down with Caleb Plant. You know, and like I said, Shawn Porter is just, you know, he says some stupid things sometimes, but, you know, I think he can be a challenge to Crawford. I really do. Not a lot of people's done, you know, they've done written this fight off that Crawford's going to win and everything like that. And, you know, this is more than being a fanboy, so to speak. Everybody, I think, has their favorite boxer. But, you know, we have to look at boxing as it is. You know, everybody at some time or the other can be beaten. I think one of the well, one of the biggest, I think, opinions of that is like Floyd Mayweather. He was able to go undefeated when he retired, and you know, he's one of the best that ever laced up in the boxing ring. But again, we have so much dodging in boxing right now. Nobody wants to fight the best. They want to, not even hardly want to fight their mandatories anymore. So, you know, again, these things is really, and it's like I said, it's the promoters that have caused these things. And the only thing that I could do say is that I'm looking and hoping for a good fight. And like I said, everybody has done written Porter off. I'm not going to do that, even though he said what he said about Wilder. I'm just taking it as boxing, and you know, and I think it is going to be a tougher fight for Crawford than what people think. I don't see Crawford knocking out Porter, but it very well may happen, or it could be the other way around. But all I know is that something has to be done about boxing. We need some new referees. We need new judges. I'm talking about ones that's not biased. We're talking about ones that is that's going to be professional. That they're not going to just, you know, choose a fighter because, you know, that's their favorite fighter. We need people in there. Maybe even people that don't even like the sport of boxing, and that were able to go in there and judge a fight like it's supposed to be. But with everything considered, in my opinion, you know, I thought, like I said, I just think Porter is going to give him a harder match than what people are looking for, and but when it all comes down to it, you know, I think Bud Crawford will win it. I'm like a lot of people. I think when it comes to the championship rounds, so we're usually Porter blows it. But styles make fights. We've all heard it from some of the greats, and again, all it does is to have to take that one punch, that one shot is all it takes to change the fate of a fight. That's all it takes. We've seen it through so many years when it comes down to whether it's Mike Tyson or Deontay Wilder or whoever, you know. We just have to take boxing as it is. And it's like I said, I want to see the best fight the best. I would like to see Errol Spence versus Bud Crawford. But, you know, I don't know if that'll ever happen. You know, Spence, I know they're talking about him maybe even moving up in weight class. I've heard a lot of things. But I would like to see him beat Crawford before he was to move up in weight. You know, it's just, but, you know, everybody has their own decision. But, you know, but like I said, the promoters are just too much involved in the decisions made by the fighter. Managers and so on and so on. You know, we need to get the best in there. The number one to fight the number two. I mean, we just need the best fighters fighting each other again. It didn't used to be like it is today. It was always, you would see the greats fight, and if one great beat the other great fighter, there would be a rematch, and then if it happened to be a different outcome than another rematch. But you don't see that hardly anymore. And I think that one of the trilogies that I hadn't, I think between Wilder and Fury, it's probably one of the last trilogies that I remember happening in, especially in the heavyweight division. Now I hear some people really wanting to sing a fourth one. I think that time has passed. I think we got to move on past that. Unfortunately, just too many things has changed when it comes to whether it's the counting with somebody being knocked down or whatever. There's always something that seems to happen in boxing. But anyway, I think Crawford, he'll handle his business. I think he'll take care of Porter. I don't think he'll knock him out. I just don't. I don't see that. I think it'll go to the scorecards, and I just don't see Porter being able to beat Crawford on the scorecards. But I also don't see Porter knocking him out. But I do think it'll be a tougher fight for Crawford than what people give it. That's my opinion when it comes to these two fighters. We know that Terrence Crawford is one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. We know this. And I think Shawn Porter is a little, I think he's a dog. I think he is, will make this fight tough. But again, when it comes down to everything, no matter what Porter had said about, said to bad about Deontay Wilder, again, I think Bud Crawford is going to win this fight. I just don't think it'll be easy. I think he'll give him a match, and with all the fights that Crawford has had, I believe, to me, this is my opinion, a lot of people thinks Crawford is like a man that walks on water, and I get that. But to me, if Bud Crawford beats Porter, and he especially does it convincingly, I'm gonna give him all these props. I'm gonna give him all the everything that he deserves, because I think by him beating Porter, I think it's gonna really prove his dominance within his weight class. And and like I said, I don't know if we'll ever see Spence and Crawford be able to fight within the ring, get in the ring together and fight. I don't know if that'll ever happen. I believe that if those two was to collide, I believe that would really prove who is the definitive best fighter in the division. But again, I don't know if that fight would ever happen. But right now, as we get closer and closer to this Bud Crawford fight, I ask you to like, share, subscribe this video. Leave your comments down in the comment section. Let me know what you think, who you think is going to win this fight, whether it's going to be by knockout, decision, unanimous decision, split decision, whatever it is. I ask you, just let me know down in the comment section. And as we get ready to cut out of here, we just ask you to, get prepared, get ready, because the fight is about getting closer and closer. And so, again, I'm getting ready for the fight. So anyway, this is your boy, DJ74Life, saying salute. Everybody out there, stay safe, because this is your boy, and we are out of here.